Okay, so I'm gonna tell you about my friend who's been having some paranormal activity. Now, at first, I didn't believe him because this dude has a relatively new house. He'd moved into a relatively new house, probably like a couple years old. I'm like, there's no way that place is haunted. I'm like, the only way, but it 100% is, because I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But the only two things I can think of that place is haunted, either he brought something into that house that had a spirit connected to it, or that house was built on like a burial ground or something, or a place that someone died. But it's got to be one of those, because yeah, this place is haunted. So he's talking about the strange stuff that happened there since he moved in. He just kind of hear taps, like just tap 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 tap, going down the halls and stuff, and like all throughout the day, all throughout the night, hear it. And then stuff started disappearing. Like, he'd go to find something and it'd be like, well, where the hell is it? Find it somewhere else in the room. Like, he was just thinking that maybe it's like old, like they just laid pipes or something, blah blah blah. They just laid the pipes, it's probably still settling. Pipes are still settling. Maybe I just forgot where I laid it. Just, usual. Boy, was he wrong, because he said one day he was home alone and he heard what sounded like someone walking in the basement. Now, he says he goes down there and opens the door. Stupid decision on his part to not bring a weapon, because, like, what if that was an actual intruder? He would be dead. Well, apparently it was no living intruder. It was an intruder, but they had been dead for a while. Okay. Fly keeps buzzing. Where'd it go? Anyway, so he says he opens the door, looks down the stairs, going to the basement. He said right about that time, he sees like a big, dark, shadowy mass in like the shape of a man just go run across the floor, down at the bottom of the stairs. He said he was gone. He slammed that door, went back. And I'm like, so what are your plans for this? He's like, what am I supposed to do? Call the paranormal police? Like, and I'm like, well, do you have salt? He's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, well, use that. So then one day, this is the first time I actually saw it, he FaceTimed me. Now, I always screen record our, like, FaceTime conversations. He does the same thing, because most time our FaceTime is always just the most stupid crap ever. We say the most stupid crap, and we like to save that. But anyway, he FaceTimed me, like, randomly out of nowhere. I'm like, oh, yo, what's up? What you need? And he's like, hey, you want to go fishing later? I'm like, sure, what time we're at? And he started talking, and I just happened to see out of the corner of my, like, he has this TV. He has this, old box TV. Like, some of y'all probably don't know what that is. I used to have one too. Basically, it's a TV, but instead of these new ones are just flat, it's in the shape of a cube. And, has antennas on it. So, yeah, it has little antennas coming out the top, and it's in the shape of a cube. Anyway, he has one of those, little small one. He has a small one on his desk. Now, I just happened to see, in the reflection of the TV screen, what looked like just a man just walk across, like, from the other side of the room, because the TV is facing, like, the other side of the room, but I was kind of angle, facing behind him over this way. And I just saw, whoop. And I'm like, yo, who's with you right now? And he's like, what? And I'm like, who's with you? Are they gonna come too? He's like, no one's in the house right now except for my dog. And I'm like, oh, yeah, well, that wasn't a dog I just saw on your TV screen. He went silent, and I'm like, someone just walked across on the other side of your room. I saw it in the TV screen. And he's like, you're bullcrapping. He's like, nah. And I'm like, okay, hang this conversation up. I'm going to send you the video. So I send him the recording and give him a little timestamp to it. And he texts back like a couple minutes later. He's like, dude, that's the same thing I saw in the basement. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'd say you got something in your house. I say, yeah, it's paranormal. And so I said, you have any, like, screen recording apps on your phone? He's like, no. I'm like, download one. Wait, not screen recording, voice recording. So I'm like, you have any voice recording apps on your phone? He's like, no. I'm like, well, download one. Go around your house, just ask him questions and stuff, and then replay it back. See if you get any responses. He said he did that a couple times, didn't get anything. So he said one time after that, he did it one more time. He said after he replayed it, there was just kind of a silence. And then all of a sudden he said he heard what sounded like footsteps and then breathing that he didn't hear in real time. Or like breathing and stuff. And he sent that to me. He like sent that little recording they had sent to me. I'm like, holy crap, because that was the most clear. Just it was like, and then it just stopped. Everything just stopped. It was just kind of footsteps and that breathing. And I could tell that wasn't him, because that's not his breathing. Like, this sounded like a grown man's breathing. So I'm like, okay. Do you have an EMF detector? And he's like, a what? And I'm like, okay, so there's many different designs. Like, the most common ones are like black little kind of rectangles that have lights on them. There's other designs that are for like electricians use them. They're like these boxes that detect like electrical wiring and stuff. And he's like, oh yeah, I think my dad had one of those. I'm like, okay, you know where it is. He's like, yeah, it's in the garage. I'm like, okay, go get that. So make sure you're away from any kind of like electrical stuff, because we give off false signals. And he said, okay, well, the basement's a great idea because there's pretty much nothing down there except a small like water heater in the back corner. I said, okay, just go in the opposite corner, stay there, scan the area. So, and I said, FaceTime me while you're doing this. I want to see what's actually happening here. And so he did that. And, he pulls that thing out. It's like a yellow box. Never seen that design before. He said it was. And all of a sudden, this thing just started picking up signals left and right. He pointed here, pick up a signal, point away, nothing. Then he'd like kind of walk out. There'd be another strong signal. And I'm like, yeah, this thing is surrounding you. Now, I don't know if it's evil. If it is, you're probably screwed. But now, I really don't think it's evil. I think it's just there. It's trying to communicate or something. I don't know. But he said he's never, like, actually was scared of it until that first day he actually saw it in the basement. So it's never really done any harm. He says just kind of there. It's just there. So yeah, he has a ghost in his house, and there's probably nothing he can do to get rid of it. Probably doesn't even want to get rid of it, considering it's not evil. But yeah. Well, bye.